This training will show you the process of how to administer a MAP growth test. You will learn how to access MAP testing sessions, verify accommodations, open the test session, confirm students for testing, troubleshoot common issues, and save and end the testing sessions. This page shows the MAP tests required for each grade level. The fastest way to get to the MAP platform is to use the NWEA MAP teacher link in the district bookmarks. It will log you in automatically with Clever. If a Clever login screen appears, click the Login with Google option. Once you are logged in, click on MAP Growth in the top left corner of the page. Then click on Manage Test Sessions on the left side midway down the page. To find the session that has already been made for your testing group, click on Saved Testing Sessions. You do not have to make your own session. You will probably have an empty list in this section because you haven't made any sessions. In the Created By box, delete your name and enter Joyce Backert for elementary tests or Courtney Collins for secondary tests. There will be many test sessions that populate in the list once you have entered Joyce or Courtney's name. To find your session, type your name in the testing session name box. You'll need to select the one with your name and the subject of the test you will be administering. If you do not see your test session in the list, look at the term and make sure it is in the current term and year. Fall is the term for BOY, winter is the term for MOY, and spring is the term for EOY. Once you have found your test session, check the roster for accuracy. If a student is missing from your roster, you can add him or her. Search for the student using the search box. When you find the student, select their name and click Add Students. Once the student is on the roster, then you need to assign a test and text-to-speech accommodations if those are needed. Directions for adding accommodations will be covered shortly. If a student needs to be added to a test session after you have started a session, that can be done. Click on Add Student and then go through the same process to find and add the student. When you have saved and returned to the test session, assign the test and accommodations if needed. Accommodations can be assigned to any students during the test session if you realize that they should have had them and it was not caught ahead of time. It is best to double-check before starting testing. When your test sessions were made, the test students will take was assigned. Accommodations for students who have access to text-to-speech on STAR have also been added to the MAP test. All you need to do is verify that the students who need this accommodation have a yes beside their name under the accommodations column. To do this, select the button by the session name and then click on Edit Session. Students who need the text-to-speech accommodation have a yes beside their name under the accommodations column. If an ARD or 504 meeting has recently occurred and a student is missing or no longer needs text-to-speech, you can update that if it has not yet been done. To update a student's accommodations, click on the button beside their name. Then click on Assign Accommodations. Scroll down to find the text-to-speech accommodations. It is listed in two different places, so be sure to mark it in both. For reading tests, students cannot have access to text-to-speech on reading passages. All others are permissible. For math or science tests, they can have all options selected under items that can be read aloud. Once you are done, click on Assign. If a student had accommodations but no longer needs them, uncheck what they had and then click on Assign. Things to be aware of. Accommodations are assigned to the test and they don't follow the student. If you change the test assignment in a session, it will strip accommodations, so don't change the test when you change subjects. There are different sessions for each subject. K2 tests already have text-to-speech built in, so you don't have to assign them for those students. Once you are sure accommodations are correct and your roster is correct and you are ready to administer the test, click on Test Now. This opens up the testing dashboard. You will need to give the students the session name and password. Students need to enter the session name exactly as it is written, including spaces and dashes. However, it is not case sensitive. If you are displaying the test session on the smartboard, make sure to hide the Proctor pin by clicking on the eye with the slash icon. The recommended practice would be to just write the session name and password on the board. This way, students aren't distracted by the dashboard updates as they test. This is the pin that is used to resume a student's test if they have been paused for rapid guessing. Once the test session is open, students can log in. They will also use the link in the student bookmarks. They will enter the session name and password in the box that opens when they click on the link in the student bookmarks. From there, they will select their name from the drop-down box. The test should auto-populate since it has been assigned already. Then they need to click the blue button. They need to verify that the name and test are correct. If so, then they hit the Yes button. When this screen pops up, their status will change on the teacher dashboard from a waiting student to one that says to be confirmed. Before you confirm them, look at this on their screen and ensure that it does have their name and the correct test. It is easier to fix a mistake now on a wrong test or student than it is later. Once you have double-checked to make sure they have entered the right name and the test is correct, click Confirm on the dashboard. If you only want to confirm some students, you can select the box by their name before clicking Confirm. If you want to confirm them all at once, just click Confirm and it will confirm any who are in the To Be Confirmed status. Once confirmed, they'll get a blue box on their screen. They'll click on that and begin the test. The dashboard refreshes every 60 seconds, but you can manually refresh it by clicking on the Refresh Page button. If a student has been paused for rapid guessing, it will show up in the Rapid Guessing Alerts box. You can control a student session with the Select Action controls. Select the box by their name, then select the action that is needed from the dropdown. Confirm. Use this after verifying they put the right name and the test is correct. Do not confirm. Use this if someone has selected the wrong name when logging in. Pause. Use this if they are leaving to go to the bathroom, office, or somewhere else. Resume. Use this when they return after being paused. Suspend. Use this at the end of class. This only suspends the testing session. It does not affect their test. They can log in again and finish the test at another time if needed. Failure to suspend a session will prevent the student from being able to test in another session. Terminate. Do not use this one without first talking to Joyce or Courtney. Test again. Use this when a student is in suspended status. This puts them back into a waiting student status so they can log in and finish the test. As students test, you can monitor their progress by watching the question number column. Tests generally have 40 to 46 questions. On average, a MAP test takes about 45 to 60 minutes to complete for older students. Younger students, K2, typically take about 30 minutes. Pause, suspend, and terminate have different uses. Pause is for a temporary break in testing of up to 25 minutes. To remove a pause, select the student and then pick Resume. Suspend is for a longer break next day. To resume the test, you must select the student, then test again, and go through the whole confirmation process again to get back into the test to complete it. Termination is a permanent action. It deletes any work the student has done on the test. Do not terminate unless you have talked to Courtney or Joyce first. MAP testing is done in a secure browser. If the students leave the testing window, they get locked out of the test. Important. Make sure they understand that they are not to leave the testing window once the test has begun. If they get locked out, select their name, then click Suspend under the Select Actions dropdown. Make sure their name is still selected. Then click Test Again in the Select Action dropdown. The student will need to go through the login and confirmation process again. Once it says to be confirmed next to their name, you can either click on the blue Confirm button or confirm them using the Select Action drop-down list. If students have adjusted the size of their display on their Chromebook, it will give them a screen resolution error. On the screen, it gives the shortcut sequence to put the screen at the right resolution for the testing window. It is Ctrl plus Shift plus. If a student gets the "Oops, where's my test window" error, most common, the testing window may be hiding behind the screen you are looking at. Minimize the screen you are looking at to see if it is behind. If there is a pop-ups blocked note in the address bar, click to allow pop-ups. Try refreshing the page using the refresh button or icon on their testing window. If students are answering questions too rapidly to really be reading them well, MAP will stop them at a certain threshold of rapid answers. A sloth will show up on their screen telling them to slow down. You will see an alert on your dashboard. You will need the Proctor pin that you hid from students earlier to restart their test. Go to their seat, remind them to take their time and do a good job. Enter the Proctor code, but don't let them see what it is. Then click Resume on their screen. If you had any rapid guessing instances, click on Download Session Progress at the end of the testing session. Then click on End Session in the top right corner. When the pop-up appears after clicking on End Session, click on Save and Exit. Do not click on Delete Session. These sessions will be reused later in the year. If you click Delete instead of Save, the whole thing will have to be recreated. Things to remember. You can only run one active session at a time. 2 teachers cannot be in the same session at the same time. If a student is not finished at the end of the testing session, you must suspend their session. They cannot be in 2 active sessions at the same time either.